3 weeks ago, my son blocked my number. And honestly, I deserved it. At 92 years old, you expect your body to fail you. You don't expect your own child to erase you. But when I saw that call go straight to voicemail, I didn't feel anger. I felt recognition. Because the truth is, I blocked him first. Not on a phone, but in life. When my son was born, I was 34 years old. I held him in my arms and whispered, "I will give you everything I never had." I grew up poor. Secondhand clothes, cold winters, a father who worked non-stop and barely spoke. I told myself my son would never feel that kind of emptiness. And in many ways, he didn't. He had a big house, private school, new shoes every year. But there was one thing he didn't have: me. I worked 14 hours a day, sometimes 16. I left before he woke up. I came home after he slept. I told myself that's what good fathers do. They sacrifice. They provide, right? That's what everyone said. But nobody talks about the silent cost of providing. He was a tree. One line. Just one. But he practiced it for weeks. "Dad, will you be there?" Of course. I lied. I sent a gift instead. As if gifts could clap. As if money could replace eye contact. That night, he didn't say much. That silence should have scared me. It didn't. Because I was too busy planning his future, while quietly disappearing from his present. When he turned 13, he stopped asking. That was the moment I should have panicked. When children stop asking for your time, it means they've learned not to expect it. But I felt relieved. I told myself, he's becoming independent. No, he was becoming distant. There's a difference. At 16, he locked his door more often. Dinner conversations became short, polite, cold. I blamed teenage hormones. But it wasn't hormones. It was accumulated absence. Brick by brick, year by year, I built a wall between us. And I called it success. At 18, he left for college. I expected emotion. Instead, he shook my hand. A handshake. From my own son. In that moment, I felt something shift. But instead of fixing it, I buried myself deeper in work. Because work never rejected me. Work never told me I wasn't there. Years later, during our last real argument, he said something I will hear until the day I die. "You were never there when I needed you." I immediately defended myself. "I paid for everything. I worked for you. I gave you a better life." He looked at me and said, "I didn't need money. I needed you." That was the moment I realized something terrifying. He learned how to be a father by doing the opposite of me. And maybe that's why he keeps his distance now. Maybe he's protecting his own children from becoming what he once was. After his mother died, the house became unbearably quiet. She was the bridge. Without her, there was just space. And two men who never learned how to talk. 3 weeks ago, I called him. Not for money, not for help, just to hear his voice. It rang once, then voicemail. Dust on the trophies. A baseball glove we never used together. Sometimes I sit on his old bed, and I imagine one normal Tuesday evening, throwing the ball, saying yes, choosing him. But imagination is cruel at 92, because it shows you the life you could have lived. Maybe one day he'll unblock me. Maybe he won't. Maybe this silence is my consequence, not punishment. Consequence. Because love ignored long enough turns into distance, and distance, repeated long enough, turns into goodbye. At 92 years old, I finally understand something simple. Success without presence is failure in disguise. And if you're building a future right now, make sure you're not destroying your present to do it. Because one day, you might wake up in a quiet house, holding a phone that never rings, and realize you were too busy being a provider to be a father.